Is the crypto market going to crash or rally? What are the technical indicators telling us on the charts as we look at them? I think there's some insight to be gleaned from what we can see and some very worthwhile commentary to be found in this video. I'm going to share it with you. And if you guys want more of the commentary, down in the description, you'll find a link for the Discord. Sign up using code word doctor. I'll tell you more about it later. In the meantime, let's jump right into the charts on this thing. So Bitcoin, the very first one that we're looking at here, I said we have to stay north of 104,324. And so far, we've done exactly that. You can see that when we ripped down below on Friday, May 30th, that Saturday, Sunday, and Monday all came in with buying pressure, pushing us back up. And then Tuesday happened, and now Wednesday is in the midst of happening right now. We got into resistance, got rejected. So at least in terms of support and resistance, let me take down the moving averages for just a moment, although that's the next part of what I want to talk to you about. In terms of support and resistance, it's heartening to see the support here, and a little bit discouraging to see that resistance, but we tested the ceiling. Up here, we tested the floor down there. And now what do we got to do? Well, this trend line coming across here, this is a very important rate to watch. We want to stay north of that. The RSI is still up above 50. That is a good thing. On the daily chart, we're going to weekly, well above 50 as well, coming in about 62, 63. Bullish, but not overbought. And in the monthly, we're at 69.4. Which once again, bullish, but out of overbought territory. So we're still sitting in all right shape right now. Somewhat minor rejection here without any sort of big volume support happening. No real conviction in the moves that we're seeing right now. You guys can also see a ton of buying pressure that happens over here. And that buying pressure came in around the middle of May is when we see that taking place. Now, what can the moving averages tell us for what we're seeing right now? Let me put up the EMAs first, then we'll bring in the SMAs. Let's take down the lines on this thing so you can focus just on this part of what's in front of you. We got rejected off the 13 so far today. Today's an important day for us. Got rejected off the 13. The 5 is down below the 13, and our price action is currently sitting down below the 5. We're still above the 50, so longer term, we're still in good shape to continue higher. However, in the near term right now, it's signaling to us a little bit of bearishness, at least as per the exponential moving averages, the 5 and the 13 period, but they're going to be the most noisy out of the three. The 50 is going to be the least noisy out of the three. And then if we put up the simple moving averages on this, the 20-day, we just got a rejection yesterday off the 20-day, which is a pretty big thing to see. There we go. But we have the 20 up above the 50, up above the 200. So far crossing down, losing the 20, near term, a bit painful. That rejection that we got there, not great for us. We could potentially sell down lower. Maybe we go back and we retest, see if we still have the buyers coming in right around that low 104 number. If not, watch out for support just south of 100,000. I actually had that on screen for you already, 97,270 to 98,451. If instead we catch that support, we can watch to see maybe we get a double bottom on this. We'll have to watch. Volume conviction would be great. And as I talked about in my other videos, non-farm payrolls and unemployment are going to have a lot to do with the risk environment that we're in. The Trump tariff situation is going to have a lot to do with the risk environment that we find ourselves in. June 5th and June 9th are the 2 dates you want to pay attention to in terms of the appeals process that we're looking at. So that's tomorrow through, I believe, let me see, Monday of next week, because Friday's the 6th. And so that means that Monday's the 9th. We want to be watching for those dates, anything in that date range. And over the weekend, crypto never sleeps, so we could have a lot happening even Saturday and Sunday while the US market's closed. The crypto market just stays open all the time because it's not tied to any one government. And I'll let you guys talk about the nuances of that. That's not really for this video as we're covering it, but then we have inflation reports coming up, CPI and PPI, and then the Fed meeting is in the middle of June. Paying attention to all of that and seeing how it translates into the risk environment that we find ourselves in. The Russell 2000 stocks showing the inverse head and shoulders. Can they break the neckline? That can also tell us a lot of what to expect for the crypto market. So let's pop this back up here. We have a little bit of indecision, a little bit of uncertainty. I will say in the near term, we want to get back up on top of that 20-day SMA. We're going to be on top of that mean instead of down below it, because it could say near term, we could potentially sell down a little bit, but having the 20 over the 50 over the 200, longer term, so far we still have that bullishness taking place, and we're going to have to watch and see what unfolds. So potential for near-term pullback, However, still long term, still have that bullishness happening. And I'd like to see, I think we have that $140,000 price tag coming out for this. I think I have 134,000 as my price target. I believe that we have that coming sometime in 2025, assuming that the rest of the market doesn't absolutely tank in the meantime. But I believe as long as we're climbing higher, that 134,000 could be ours. And we'll watch for that. Ethereum, what do we got going on for Ethereum? The 200-day is still that line in the sand, that amount that we need to get over, which is currently dropping. 2676 is that number. And if I put the technicals back up here, you can see that we have a very important line at 2747 that we did not break back on the 13th of May. We didn't break it on the 23rd. We tried on the 29th of May. Couldn't hold it. I said we have to hold 2700. That number is actually 2747. And you guys can see the support area that we have down here, not only by Fibonacci extensions, but also by the 200 EMA on here as well. So for the 200 EMA, which for some reason isn't showing up on my screen, it does come across right through this green area, confluence between the Fibonacci extensions, retracements, and the 200 EMA. Lots of buying pressure evidenced by these long wicks that we have coming off the bottom here. Selling pressure up above. This thing is going to snap. This is a lot of sideways trading, especially where crypto is involved. The 5 is above the 13. That's a great thing to see. 513 are both above the 50. EMA is absolutely a perfect setup for us. The RSI is also in bullish territory for daily. Weekly, we're just above 50. Perfect. And rising, even perfecter, if that's a word. And then in the monthly, just barely into bullish territory. And look at this. We're also getting across. For the monthly, we have potentially the 5 going to cross up above the 13. This is a monthly chart. This is going to be a slow mover for us. But if we do find ourselves in that risk-on environment through whatever circumstances it takes to get us there, this thing could move wildly higher from where we're at. And if we put up the SMAs just for a moment, just to see where we're at, we actually broke above the 50 SMA and then caught support this month in June. It's early right now, but so far that bottom wick on that is right at the bottom of that 50 SMA that we're looking at for this. We got reject off the 20 so far, caught support at the 50. Potentially we climb higher from here. There's a lot of bullish signals to pay attention to for Ethereum, and it's why I've given it so much coverage lately. XRP, look at this one. Look at that buying pressure that we have down here and the selling pressure that we have to the north. We had one big move back in January with the excitement with the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, XRP being named in that, and then just struggled higher ever since. The RSI on a monthly basis, still looking pretty good for us. When we go down to a daily basis on this one, we did lose. We got rejected off the 20-week, and now we're still down below that, still in bullish territory for the RSI. If we put up the EMAs for this one, man, there's a battle between the 5 and the 13. We want to sit on top of them for that bullishness like we saw back over here. Don't have it yet. We want to watch for it. On a daily basis, where do we find ourselves? Well, we just crossed up above the 5. The 5 is closing in on the 13. And actually with the 50 just north of that, if we can get the price action up above the 5 and the 13 and get the 13 across the 50, that's a big old bullish sign. Right now, we're just below bullish for the RSI. Things could be turning around very soon for XRP. And in terms of support and resistance, look at that big fat support area that we have down here. And the moment that we got into it on the 30th. By the 31st, we tried to sell lower and it said, and kicked it back out of there, just bounced very nicely. But now it's in the EMA's hands and the RSI's hands, the momentum's hands to get us back up there. It would be great to see some volume support, some volume conviction in the purchasing for XRP to continue that price higher. Now, a little bit of sadness for SUI when we talk about this is that right now, this is probably one of the worst looking ones, but let it get beat up because I think long-term is where the potential is going to come in. So for my price target for 497, this thing absolutely fell apart on us. As you can see, we're down below the 5, we're down below the 13. The price is dangling off of the 5-period moving average. That's a very bearish setup for us that we have happening. The 13 crossing down over the 50 is a very bearish sign as well. We want to watch for that buying pressure to come in just south of $3. I should say from just south $3 up to $3. And right now we're at about 318. So we could see just a little bit more pain coming before we start to see the buying pressure start to kick in and start to see that next ride back up on this. If we put up the simple moving averages, we lost the 50, we lost the 200, we lost the 20, nearing that golden cross moment. But will it be a false signal for us? We're going to have to watch and see if we can actually turn things around here, which there's still always the potential for that to happen. That would be great to see. Weekly basis, we're actually still bullish for this and up above that 50 week, the 20 week that we have on here. $3 is about where we would find that bounce off the 20 weeks, see if we keep a hold of that as support for us. That would be a great thing to see. And if we go out to the monthly chart, we're in bullish territory there as well, with some very tall wicks coming off of this, showing that we're getting that selling pressure come in. But like I said, that we start to get into buying pressure territory as we get closer to that $3 mark. Right in here is that territory where you might find it all the way down, I guess, according to this, that 50 week would be coming in. It's coming up right now close to 260. So I would be watching for that buying pressure to start kicking in any moment now for SUI. When maybe those hogs will come home to my call and we start to return back to that bullish sentiment for this one. And then Solana, I'll wrap things up for this video for you. So for Solana, Solana, I think, is one that's going to, through a little bit of growing pains right now, a little bit of a rough time. I think it can turn things around. But if you guys want to see more of my technical analyses, my macro analyses, my buys, sells, whatever you want to see over at the Discord, links in the description. You can talk to me throughout the trading day, mostly active through Monday through Friday, but I do pop in on the weekends on occasion, check in with crypto stuff and the community that's over there. But I'm not the only one. There's a whole panel of experts, including Crypto Will, who maybe he never sleeps since crypto never sleeps. Stockmo also over there as well, putting together a wonderful community, bringing in that panel of experts to have that team there to support you in your journey towards financial freedom and financial education. Building alpha in your portfolio as well, using it for your long-term investments, whatever it is that you need to do financially, we're over there to support you in that process. Links down in the description, 50% off your first month sign up when you use code word doctor. And if you want to learn more of the impact of what I'm saying about the technical analysis, about how to trade using technicals with the bread recipe trading strategy, if you want to learn about using options to do it, there's coursework down in the description as well. Through Stockmo Academy. He's a personal friend of mine in education. We've known each other for about 17 years now. We're like brothers. And I'll tell you what, he, Mrs. Mo, have put together just some rock solid courses. You can support yourselves and support us in that journey through using that link down in the description, signing up for those courses. They are so tightly put together, so easy to understand, easy to digest, that I think that you're going to find tons of value there waiting for you. Bundling the courses plus the code word doctor is going to be the biggest savings that you're going to get on that. Links are in the description. Let's get to Solana. So for Solana, where do we find ourselves? Just south of the 50-day. Got a big old rejection off resistance yesterday, and then the down below the 200, so bearish on a daily basis. RSI also down a little bit. Guys, we are getting into a ton of support for Solana. We could be getting into that exciting place to be. And now, mind you, I think that if Ethereum does take off, it's potential that Solana also is like, all right, I guess I'll go too. So even though we're down south of the 50, the 200, and the 20, we don't have the 20 down below the 50 yet, which would be even more bearish. The RSI, near term, daily basis, bearish territory, but we're getting near very critical support for Solana. So down, but I don't believe that it's out. And just like Ethereum, it has to break up over its 200-day, which is immediately followed by massive resistance up until about 196. Then we have a free rise area up until about 220. But down below 143 could be where we find that next big support. And if it's not there, it happens to be right around 120, where you can start to see even more buying pressure come in with some massive volume to go along with it. So guys, I don't know that we'll stay down here for long for Solana. And if we get beat up a little bit more in the process, well, we're not too far away from that recovery zone. So that's my take on crypto for right now, with the different things I presented to you, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, SUI, XRP, Solana. Guys, you can let me know what you think down in the comments for these cryptos. Are there other cryptos that I should be following? Do you want to learn about options, technical analysis, technical trading? Do you want to be part of a community of thousands of members with a team of experts there to help you throughout your financial process? If you do, links in the description. It supports the channel. You're also supporting yourself, and investing in yourself is the best investment that you can make. Thank you for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you next video.